If you hear these words, know this: it is not by chance, but a summons, an echo to the yearning of your soul. We stand on the precipice of a new era, where the veil, thin, obscuring truth is about to fray, revealing the chilling outlines of what is to come. The world we know begins to crack at the seams, and through these fissures emerges something ancient, something that has hidden for centuries in the shadowed corners of history, in forgotten scrolls and whispered prophecies. Before we venture into the very heart of truth, you must make a choice. Your like is more than mere approval, it is a declaration of intent. Your subscription is your enlistment among the seekers, those ready to face truth head-on, even if that truth proves terrifying. This is your first step across the threshold, the step that separates the sleepers from the awakened. Today we touch upon a prophecy that has festered like a long-awaited abscess in the depths of history. We will unveil a vision that the elite have sought to bury for ages beneath layers of deceit and veils of secrecy. We turn to the figure of Nostradamus, to his enigmatic centuries, to that astonishing ability of his gaze to pierce through the ages, to point toward one of the most potent and elusive forces at play in the world, the Vatican. And not just the Vatican as such, but its dark, relentless shadow, what Nostradamus himself called the Black Pope in his prophecies. The truth, which they so carefully conceal behind the colorful veil of daily news, behind the tinsel of mass culture, is actually simple and therefore even more terrible. This is not just a conspiracy theory, as it may seem at first glance. This is a conspiracy against your consciousness. It is a desperate attempt to keep you captive to illusions, to lock you in a golden cage, where every smallest detail, every seemingly accidental event, every news item is merely a carefully staged performance. All of this is designed to keep you in a state of constant fear, meek submission, and blissful ignorance. Nostradamus, that seer shrouded in mystery, left us not just a collection of poetic lines. He bequeathed us maps, keys, codes, a kind of encrypted messages. His colossal work is not just a collection of predictions. It is, in essence, detailed instructions left for those who would later be ready to decipher them, for those who could see beyond the metaphorical images the true active force weaving its web through history. Through the ages, he repeatedly turned to the papacy, to its hidden influence, to its unseen power. We find in his writings echoes of disturbing prophecies, of the coming great bloodshed, of the sacred place that will be destroyed, of the supreme head of the church who will be overthrown. However, perhaps most chilling is his mention of the Black Pope. This is not merely an image, not a metaphor. This is a real, active player in this grand global chess game. Who then is this mysterious Black Pope? It is not one clad in a black cassock. It is a figure who stands behind the throne, one whose power is invisible, yet all-encompassing. It is the embodiment of a force that feeds on fear, that skillfully manipulates world events, that invisibly guides the course of history for its own deeply hidden interests. This is one who acts in the deepest shadows, within the convoluted labyrinths of the Vatican, pulling invisible strings that appear to us as unshakable pillars of world order. If we turn to the lost quatrain from the 11th century, verse 93, we will discover a subtle hint. When a star falls from the heavens and blood fills the rivers, the Black Pope will ascend the throne, and the church will weep. This is not merely an elevated poetic image, but a clear prediction of an approaching paradigm shift, a profound, all-encompassing transformation that will touch the very heart of spiritual authority. Such prophecies, incidentally, are not unique. Their echoes resound in ancient forgotten texts, in faded scrolls, discovered among the ashes of a once majestic monastery on the sacred Mount Karama. A hermit monk named Kenshin described shadows that rule the world from holy abodes, thereby pointing to the inherent duality of power, to its hidden, shadowy side. A recent leak from the so-called Chimera Protocol also fans the flames, containing further references to mysterious, hidden structures of influence, skillfully using religious institutions to achieve their very specific goals. And this remarkable duality, this enigmatic harmonic resonance between the sages of antiquity and the prophets of our time seems undeniable. Even Vanga spoke of a great schism, of a time when everything will be turned upside down. And the calculations of the ancient Maya in turn spoke of grand cycles, of an inevitable transition into a new era, of the so-called Great Revision. And the revelations of the Gnostics, with their primal concept of an illusory world, as if created by evil, ignorant demiurges, fit remarkably harmoniously into this disturbing picture. Those seemingly long-past events, those grand unseen forces that once held sway, now touch each of us in the most intimate way. Remember that inexplicable gnawing anxiety that suddenly grips you at 3 in the morning when the entire world seems to fall silent, leaving you utterly alone with the labyrinth of your own thoughts, or that piercing sense of profound alienation as you watch the faces of people passing by on the street, their eyes seemingly empty, their reactions predictable as if programmed. No, this is not mere ordinary depression. It is something far more fundamental. It is your very soul, suffocating in the suffocating embrace of this artificially constructed matrix. It is your true, deep-seated I, desperately protesting the false, distorted reality they so insistently try to impose upon you. We inhabit a world skillfully built upon a foundation of pervasive fear. Fear of what the future holds, fear of the inevitable loss of all that is precious, fear of what lurks in the abyss of the unknown, and it is this all-consuming fear that serves as the very precious currency in the hands of those who hold us in this willing captivity. They deliberately sow chaos, so that we, gripped by fear, seek salvation precisely from them. They skillfully sow discord, so we forget the unyielding strength that lies within us. They generously feed us poisoned lies, preventing us from seeing the true light. But what if all these frightening phenomena, wars, global crises, devastating pandemics, are merely faint shadows on a cave wall, as in the ancient allegory of the wise Plato? What if the true tyrant, the irreconcilable enemy we fight, is actually looking back at us from the depths of our own mirror? What if this entire external struggle boiling around us is just a skillfully orchestrated diversion designed to deftly draw our gaze away from the truly most important battlefield, the landscape of our own souls, our consciousness? The universe is not casting its wrath upon humanity. It is like a skilled healer burning out the poison from within us. The poison of eternal fear, the poison of pervasive ignorance, the poison of tenacious materialism that has bound our souls tightly, ensnared them in its webs. This apparent universal collapse we witness now is not an end. It is like cosmic surgery. The universe itself is undertaking a radical healing. The fragile glass-like crown embodying our ego, our illusory self, shatters under the relentless force of truth. The metal veins, the soulless cold structures of the system with which we have been ensnared, begin to rust and crumble, succumbing to the inexorable march of time. And it is within this apparent chaos, this bubbling alchemical transformation, that the greatest, most sincere hope resides. Prophecies, you see, are not at all a warning of a coming savior who will one day descend from the heavens. No, they are more akin to an activation code, a kind of impulse. They are seeds sown by the sages of the past, destined to sprout within each of us, shining with light. They did not foresee a single solitary hero. They envisioned an entire army of awakened souls, ready to change the world. They envisioned precisely you. You are not merely a pawn in a grand design, nor simply a link in a chain of prophecies. You are its very embodiment, its living fulfillment. The name Black Pope is not just a title, nor solely an emblem of power. It is a formidable symbol of what befalls us when we turn away from our inner light, when we willingly surrender our true strength to alien, external entities. And the end of the Church is not at all the demise of faith, but merely the conclusion of that perverted, earthly, materialistic version of religion which, alas, has become a cunning instrument for manipulation and control. It is rather a desperate but necessary call to return to the authentic living spirit, to the very source. Prophets, gazing through the veil of time, foresaw awakened souls like majestic phoenixes rising from the ashes of the old world. They clearly saw how each of you, finally realizing your inexhaustible inner power, would become the creator of your own entirely new reality. You are the very beacon that will scatter the encroaching darkness with its radiance. You are the singular key that will unlock the gates to true, unadulterated freedom. Now that your eyes are wide open, now that you see what lies beyond the veil of illusion, inaction becomes unthinkable. Your like is a bright flash of light illuminating the entire network, a call to other awakeners. Your riposte is a seed sown into the barren soil of sleeping minds, a timid hope for the dawn of new understanding. Your subscription is a silent vow, a promise of resilience, a determination not to retreat, not to surrender, not to forget. If you feel ready to go further, if this call resonates deep within your soul, our private club will become your operational base. Here, in this brotherhood, we gather the precious shards of truth. Here, we support each other on this sacred, challenging journey. And your support through super thanks is the vital energy that fuels our shared flame in this relentless battle against the encroaching darkness. It is the fuel for our spiritual engine without which it is impossible to move forward. Until our next meeting, maintain your awareness, stay connected, and never stop asking questions.